How's it going, everyone? My name is Louis Santa Maria. I'm a student here at MCC. I am currently studying to be a secondary education math teacher. This is actually my last semester here at MCC, so afterwards I'm going to continue my studies either at East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania or Seton Hall University in here in New Jersey. My presentation today, Puberty and Adolescents, by yours truly. The main reason why I wanted to do my presentation on this is to inform students on the different timings that they can experience puberty, and how the different bodily developments, the different bodily functions that develop vary in males and females, and some both occur. Both occur in male and females. So that's mainly what I'm geared toward this presentation, and most importantly that everyone goes through this at some point in their life, and that it's okay. You know, they're not alone. Everyone is going through this. My audience that would be targeted in this presentation would be teenagers, so like like eighth graders or high schoolers, and it'd be in like some sort of like all-purpose room in a high school, or like an assembly room, or something like that. But without further ado, let's get right into it. I start off with my objectives. Students will be able to define how puberty varies in every adolescent by recalling information from the assembly. Students will be able to compare and contrast the differences and similarities adolescents face when experiencing puberty. And finally, students will be able to demonstrate how puberty plays a major role in a young adult's life. After conclusion of the video of the presentation, the students would be able to take information from the presentation and display mastery in the content being taught to them by fulfilling these objectives. So pretty straightforward. This slide, I'd kick it off with them, just to give them a little fact. And I got this from one of the database articles from the MCC library that I cite at the end of the presentation. Did you know that pubertal development is a non-linear process progressing from the prepubescent beginnings through biological, physical, and psychological changes to full sexual maturity? And here I would mainly highlight non-linear, and I'd tell them, that means that this process isn't a straight line. They're gonna experience different type of developments in their bodies at different times. It's not going to be like, okay, here's one development, then the next one comes, and the last one. It's going to be different for everyone. There are time frames in where, like, okay, this is when pubic hair is supposed to grow, but again, everyone's different, and it could, occur later in their while they're during puberty. So I would mainly highlight this term right here, nonlinear. When can puberty begin to occur? It can occur in as early as 7 for girls and as early as 9 for guys, which is a pretty early age. And the students I'd be talking to would be well over these age limits. So, a lot, like I said, a lot of them will be going through puberty, or if not, very soon. Or, already have already started experiencing like some major factors in puberty. So this would just be a nice little fact to let them know of like the earliest when they can start experiencing puberty. And again, I got this from our textbook, which I cite at the end of the presentation. This slide mainly talks about the physical changes in females, and that can occur: developed breast, broader hips and pelvis, ovulation, and menstruation. Females can experience these developments at different times during puberty, but for the most part, breast development in females occur can occur as early as in the age of 8, all the way up to the age of 13. Um, so yeah, it can occur as early as the age of 8, but maybe it won't start until they're 10 or 11. And again, that's okay because there might be a female there will be a female in the audience that um, will be like, oh, that's why I'm going through this because of puberty, and it's okay. And I know why my body is developing like this. Ovulation and menstruation, females will be able to produce eggs and will have their monthly periods that flush all the dead eggs away through bleeding. And it's important for them to know that this is okay too and normal for them because it is a main part of puberty, and it also mainly shows that they be able to conceive a child. So it's important for them to be educated on these developments and just to know, most importantly, that it's okay and that everyone's going through this. And yeah, it can be embarrassing, but it's just life. And as they get older, they'd understand. Where I got the ages of when these things can occur from the textbook as well. Figure 2.8, timing of physical changes of puberty. Physical changes in males can include facial hair, wider shoulder and chest, shoulder and back hair, sperm production. Again, all this mainly in males, and again, real important for them to understand and know. Especially this one I'm going to highlight right here, sperm production, because again, this is when the males will be able to produce sperm, and if not educated properly, and if they are partaking in unprotected sex, it can lead to a child. At the age of, sperm production begins usually around the ages 12 to 14. So that's really scary, and they should know when they be able to produce sperm because no one would want an unplanned pregnancy at such a young age. They have their whole lives ahead of them. So again, they should really focus on this sperm production part. And the students in the audience would also be able to relate to, the facial hair. I remember, and I can relate to this. I remember when I was in high school, I didn't have a beard, and I graduated high school when I was 18. But as soon as I got into college, and then when I was turning 19, 20 years old, I was able to, grow a beard. Nothing crazy, but I had nothing in high school. So, and I remember I had friends, 8th grade, 9th grade, with full on beards, full mustache, full goatees, everything. So there will most likely be someone in that audience saying, "Oh, you know what? I am, starting to grow a mustache, or I have a full grown beard, and it's okay, because it's puberty, and everyone goes through it." Now, here are the physical changes in both males and females. This can include pubic hair, underarm hair, mature genital organs, skin, oil, sweat, growth spurt, increased size of the heart and lungs. And this happens in both males and females. And so this is where, in the objectives part, in the beginning, students will be able to compare and contrast differences, similarities adolescents face when experiencing puberty. And the first objective, students will be able to find how puberty varies in every adolescent by recalling information. This shows, the differences and similarities that occur in both males and females. Again, real important to really understand and know these things, and most importantly, know that these things are happening to me because I'm going through puberty, not just because I'm different. Yeah, you are different, but everyone goes through this. And to highlight right here, mature genital organs, I'd like to talk about Tanner's longitudinal research on pubertal development, in which J.M. Tanner, who was a British biologist, basically has like stages 1 through 5 on the different types of mature developments in males and females. And basically, stage one is the pre-pubescent pre-pubertal stage, when no physical changes have occurred, and then stage five being that final maturity stage in males and females. And like I've been saying throughout the whole presentation, it's okay, it's just puberty. It can be a scary time for these adolescents. They can feel self-conscious, embarrassed, have that imaginary audience feeling that everyone is looking at me and everyone's examining me and paying attention to me. But they have to know that, yeah, it's scary, and they might feel a little shy. These kids for their gym classes will be changing in front of their peers, and they might be a little afraid to show off their bodily hair, their underarm hair, So, but they just mainly have to know that it's okay and that everyone's going through them, and maybe there's even some kids that are going through like the exact developments that they're going through at the time, So it's just important for them that, yeah, it can be a scary time, but that it's normal. It's very normal for them to experience this. Also, adolescents can start to feel and think of things that they've never felt before. This is they could start mainly towards like adolescents having like sexual thoughts and wanting to have sexual encounters. And this is important because they need to be educated on how, they can potentially conceive a child if not educated properly on practicing safe sex. Obviously this is mainly towards, like high schoolers and, maybe juniors and seniors, but they still need to know, and they need to know why they're feeling this way. Their hormones are raging, they are feeling all these emotions, love, hate, sexual emotions, everything. So it's important for them to understand why they are feeling this, and most importantly, that they should talk to a parent, relative, or family friend when feeling something like this, so they can receive the proper feedback, information, and it would just be very important for them to be educated on this. And like I've been saying throughout the whole presentation, it's okay, everyone goes through it. Everyone goes through it at different ages, but everyone will go through it. And when you are going through puberty, it's going to be okay. I would tell them that it's not the end of the world. Everything will be all right. Here is the works cited. Like I said, I used a textbook by Mr. Jeffrey Arnett, and the article from the database, Individual Differences of Boys and Girls, Timing and Tempo of Puberty. And that pretty much wraps up my presentation. Just want to say thank you, Professor, for an awesome semester. I did learn a lot, and I did have a lot of fun with everything. Good luck to everyone on their last couple finals, and whatever plans you guys have next. Good luck.